Okay, hello, good evening. I'm here to give you a short story about the Diskmags. So, what is a Diskmag? It's a publication distributed on a floppy disk, okay? Up until this point, I think everyone was guessing, at least. But the publication itself is an executable program. And it has a dedicated GUI and normally came with its own graphics, animation, music, games, you name it. It was cool. So, here are some images from some random Diskmags that I found. And why a Diskmag? Well, back in the 70s and early 80s, the hobbyist computers were getting their computer magazines on print, which was not useful because there was a lot of programs that they wanted to try out, so they needed to copy everything to the computer, blah, blah, blah. So it would be really useful to have something that you would just load on your computer. And so the first one that was distributed for computers was the C-Load. But this was not a floppy disk, this was a cassette. You had to wait until 1981 to get a floppy mag. And it was by Softdisk, which is an American software company, and released a disk mag called Softdisk. Very original. And it was for the Apple II. And the thing with this one is that you had to send it back. You bought it, you send it back. And this actually fit two purposes. One, because floppy disks were more expensive at the time. And two, you could send your own programs and articles. And yeah, super nice. And this created a really great community, but eventually died out because it became a fully paid staff. And this was not a requirement anymore. And so, let me go back because I don't remember, 95, this project was dead. And Lodestar. Lodestar is actually also by Softdisk. But it's when they decided to reach out to the Commodore 64 community, and which was a good move because it was the thing at the time. And Lodestar was aimed at intermediate and beginner computer hobbyists, and it came with apps, tutorials, machine language routines, games. But eventually the Commodore 64 also went obsolete. And so Softdisk dropped the project. But luckily, this was such a popular Diskmag that it was picked up by an independent publishing company, which is actually co-owned by one of the co-founders of the original Softdisk. So it didn't go far. And they released until 2007. Yes, always for the Commodore 64. But they're all available online. You can use an emulator. ST News. Okay, this is actually the first Diskmag for the Atari ST, and it's from the Netherlands. And here it's the death metal band At the Gates holding their personalized T-shirt. Anyway, they were so the first, as I said, the first Diskmag for the Atari ST, and the publisher, one of the publishers, Richard Garsemakers, he wrote a really huge history of ST News on their official website. It contains, I don't know how many, 4 parts. I only read the first one, which is about the beginnings of the zine. And he was 12 when he started this project. Yes. And it became quite a big magazine, and the topics were ST, like for the Atari ST, so it was about software for the Atari ST, and tips and tricks and programming tutorials, more machine language, and games, always games. And yeah, and the funny thing is that he goes really personal and deep on his page, because he actually dedicated 4 issues of the Diskmag to a girl he liked at the time. Super sweet. I don't think he ever got with her. Anyway, now I'm going to talk a bit about the demo scene, because the history of the Diskmag up to some point started being really connected with the history of the demo scene. And the demo scene is a computer arts subculture born from the cracker scene and specializes in making demos. And these demos showcase programming, design, and music skills. So the cracker scene was releasing this cracked software and games, which contained an introduction in the beginning, which was just music, graphics, etc. At some point, though, the groups that make these intros split up, and it became really about just these intros, which started being distributed separately, and these gave rise to the demo scene. Okay, this is one of the most famous demos, Red Sector Mega Demo, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so the demos in Diskmags really delved into the demo scene, and they talked about the parties, because there were demo parties, the results of contests, because in these parties there were competitions to see who had the best demo, and hints, interviews, and a lot of drama, incredible amounts of drama, because there were a lot of demos in groups, and a lot of this drama actually passed by the platform they were using. So there's this study that was done by 2 Finnish academics, so there's people doing studies on this, and they use Diskmags actually to understand the demo scene a little bit better, because, for example, when the platforms would change, this would always be documented in discussions in the Diskmags. And it's quite fun to read, actually, but for example, this one, Sex and Crime, it's from 1989 to 1990, it was when the Commodore 64, when people migrated to the Amiga. And this was actually not received so negatively, but this magazine was known for being quite crude and being quite insulting at times, and there were charts ranking groups and individuals, and this was total controversial. And so there's RAW. RAW is for the Amiga, and from 1991 to 1996, and then we have Infobia for the IBM PC. And for example, when the Amiga introduced new hardware and new graphics, this already created a lot of controversy and passion in these groups, because the programming challenging would not be so much anymore, so the people using the new Amiga were losers. And so much so for the IBM PC, because how can you really showcase your programming skills with such a powerful machine? And yes, it's quite nice, but the Infobia, that didn't have impede the IBM PC to actually have its own scene. So Infobia was a really big scene for the scene in the IBM, and they actually regarded the people in the Commodore 64 community as gods. But the demo scene is not all there is to the Diskmag community, so there's a really good documentation for the German Diskmag scene. And this one, for example, Otmag, actually was more related to left-wing politics and jokes. Microcode, also German, was, the name says it all. It's all about programming. And then they made this beautiful baby, Cream. And Cream only had 4 issues, because Cream, at the 4th issue, decided that it was time to actually go with the demo scene, and so tried to release a demo scene dedicated mag, but it was not well received by the demo scene community, so it died. So RIP, but Oogie with beautiful graphics. This one is the most famous, longest lasting German demo scene Diskmag, and it's the one where I can get a lot of documentation for this presentation, actually. So if you want to read more and are interested in knowing more about Diskmags, I really cannot recommend this website enough. They have all their issues from number 11 onwards, and it's just so great to see all the, I don't know. I think the community fascinated more than the Diskmags itself. But you can actually download a lot of these Diskmags, they're available. So there's this Diskmag Pack 2004, which was made by another Diskmag, Wildmag, also German, on Puet.net, which is a demo scene forum, system, and it has a lot of, you can upload your own Diskmags, you can upload famous Diskmags, you can talk about things related to the scene. And there's the textfiles.com, dedicated to the art scene of the computer, and you can download as well. So of course, there's the one that I released this year, actually yesterday, which is... If you want it, I have it, but it's only for Linux, and if you don't mind actually installing some libraries, then you can come to me. And I can give it to you. It was my attempt at doing a Diskmag myself, and I aptly named it MetaMag, because the names were never that good anyway. So you can call, like, talk to me, and I'll just give you one. So that's it, I think.